Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking literally 100 rapid-fire daily headlines from May 2026 and synthesizing the whole shebang into one clear, connected picture of our world. We're talking extreme weather, an economic squeeze, and massive technological leaps, all happening at the exact same time. Let's untangle this giant web and see how it all connects.
Okay, let's dive into this. To cut through the noise, we've organized today's global chaos into 5 key themes: weather extremes and global health, energy markets and the economic squeeze, global diplomacy, the AI and tech boom, and finally, sports and entertainment.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Weather Extremes and Global Health, Navigating Physical Realities. Before we even touch on markets or technology, we've got to talk about the immediate, physical realities hitting millions of people right this second. 45 degrees Celsius. That is scorchingly hot. This number absolutely anchors our first reality. A severe, punishing heat wave is sweeping across North India right now. In fact, the Indian Meteorological Department has placed key states like Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan under strict, ongoing heat alerts. And look, this heat isn't just some isolated weather event. It's a massive catalyst for infrastructural and cultural strain. It's like a giant domino effect. We're seeing direct crop damage in vital agricultural regions, alongside major travel disruptions in the hottest zones. There's a sharp surge in power demand that's really testing the grid. While public health departments are aggressively monitoring a spike in heat stroke cases, it's even forcing expanded water conservation campaigns and, disrupting local summer sports camps. It's literally touching every single aspect of daily life. Now, compounding these physical challenges on the ground is a major update on the international front. The World Health Organization has just declared Ebola a global health emergency. This is absolutely triggering immediate worldwide vigilance. Health ministries everywhere, including India's, are stepping up airport surveillance and reviewing their emergency protocols. So if you're traveling, this definitely adds a highly intense layer of caution and friction to international trips. Moving on to Section 2. Energy markets and the economic squeeze, the global stress test. While citizens navigate those intense physical extremes, global markets are facing a completely different kind of heat. It's a brutal macroeconomic squeeze. The UN has actually lowered its global economic growth forecast down to 2.5% for the year, while at the very same time, global inflation is expected to rise to 3.9%. This brilliantly illustrates the exact juxtaposition we're dealing with. It puts a uniquely heavy burden on developing nations as they try to balance slowing growth against the rising cost of literally everything. Let's map out exactly how this chain reaction happens. Step 1. We have rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Step 2. This inevitably disrupts vital international shipping routes, specifically through the Strait of Hormuz. Step 3. That logistical headache leads directly to surging global prices for both oil and vital agricultural fertilizers, because shipping insurance costs just skyrocket. And finally, Step 4. This culminates in immense rising inflation pressure, specifically targeting nations that rely heavily on importing these goods. Which brings us to a really poignant quote that outlines the stakes here. India's chief economic advisor described this current global environment as a balance of payment stress test. Now, India is actively preparing alternative crude oil transport routes and remains, relatively stable economically compared to broader global slowdown fears. But officials are very clear-eyed about this. They fully acknowledge that this is a formidable global stress test for all oil importing nations. There's just no way around it. All right, Section 3, Global Diplomacy and Cooperation, Navigating the Storm. So what does this all mean for governments? How are they responding to this volatility? Well, they are locking in highly targeted, rapid-fire partnerships to secure their futures. Look at India's recent 5-nation diplomatic tour. Over in Rome, the focus is heavily on strategic trade, climate, and sustainability. Up with the Nordic nations, and remember, European nations like Switzerland continue to dominate global best country rankings this year, collaboration is just exploding across green tech, 6G research, Arctic cooperation, defense, and increasing STEM mobility for students. Meanwhile, down in the Indo-Pacific, the focus deliberately shifts to strengthening blue economy cooperation. It's a complex web of very specific strategic alliances to counter global instability. Right in the center of these high-level discussions, PM Modi actually received the prestigious FAO Agricola Medal for global food security efforts. Remember those crop damages and soaring fertilizer costs we just talked about? Yeah, this proves that foundational issues, like literally keeping people fed, remain at the absolute forefront of global diplomacy right now. It's being recognized at the highest possible levels.
Let's switch gears a bit. Section 4, the AI and tech boom, accelerating the future.
Transitioning from managing global crises, we are seeing a massive, undeniable upward trajectory in tech. It's a real game changer. Major economies are turning technology into their primary economic engine. The India AI Impact Summit is drawing massive global attention, billions of dollars are pouring into 6G research, and green tech startups are acting as a true beacon of optimism against those market fears we touched on earlier. We're also seeing ethical AI discussions become the standard at major industry conferences, which really shows this boom is maturing just as fast as it's growing.
And finally, Section 5, sports and entertainment highlights, culture and distraction.
So, how are everyday people actually navigating daily life amidst all these macro shifts? Culture's adapting. With record 45-degree temperatures outside, it's absolutely no surprise we're seeing a massive boom in streaming indoors. Titles like Downton the Revenge are trending globally, while Indian regional content is gaining true international dominance. Digital creators are pivoting heavily towards short news formats, to help audiences keep up with all this rapid change. Over in sports, cricket continues to absolutely dominate viewership, but we're also seeing the real-world impact of the disruptions we discussed earlier. Case in point, there's current uncertainty for the Women's Junior Handball Championship in China right now, as sports authorities have to navigate those broader global travel and health alerts we talked about. But here is where the lines really start to blur. Let's see how this all connects. That massive tech boom we explored a moment ago, it is directly bleeding into our daily entertainment. AI tools aren't just for enterprise logistics anymore, they are increasingly dominating media production and fundamentally altering how the content we binge watch is actually created and delivered to our screens. So, the crucial point we need to take away is this. We are standing at a massive intersection. On one hand, we're facing intense, immediate physical and economic challenges, extreme heat waves, global health alerts, and serious supply chain stress tests. But on the exact same day, we are surging forward with global AI summits, 6G research, and incredible technological innovations. How will this unique convergence of extreme challenges and rapid innovation reshape your reality for the rest of 2026? It's a fascinating question and one I highly encourage you to keep exploring. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.